Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another Fallout 4 Mods Weekly, the show where we look at some of the really cool and interesting mods to come out in the past week for Fallout 4. And this week, we've got a lot of really high quality stuff, a lot of armor mods, a new weapon, and some other really cool little goodies. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the first mod and waste no time. The first mod we're going to be checking out is Desert Punks, a Raider outfit pack by DaltonTheWarlock. Now, we did cover this earlier in the week, but it has undergone a couple of changes. Now, for those who didn't see that video, Desert Punks is going to be a brand new pack of Raider outfits with a cool desert theme, a perfect mod for someone like me who has been using Desperados as their main landscape overhaul. But even if you're not using a desert landscape, this is still just a nice pack of Raider armors. These feel very Fallout and have some really cool looking aesthetics. Now, in the default version of this mod, despite it being made for the intention of being used on Raiders, it actually had no leveled list integration, so you could not apply it to the Raiders. You would just have to craft all of these over at the chemistry station. Additionally, all of these armors were only available as is. None of them were functional as under armors. They were just the armor sets that you got, though you could apply a ballistic weave to them. But since the mod has come out, Forest Gimp has actually created a little add-on for this mod that's going to do a couple of things. It's going to not only add them to the leveled list, so you will be able to find them on Raiders, but additionally, it'll add them to the legendary loot pool, so you can find legendary versions of these outfits, and there's even a couple of versions that have been converted into under armor. So some of the lighter sets of these outfits can now have armor placed on top of them, and they're even added to the leveled list in a way that Raiders will spawn with armor on top of them as well, so that's really cool. If you're looking for a brand new set of lore-friendly Raider armors to apply to your Raiders, pair the Desert Punks mod with this new Forest Gimp edit, and you will have a really cool set of new armors to go onto your Raiders. They have a very Mad Max feel, and they pair perfectly with a desert outfit. Though you can mix and match this with other mods and try to get the exact style of Raiders you want, and it'll probably work with just about any weather load order except for maybe snow. Regardless, awesome work by DaltonTheWarlock on these armors, and awesome work by Forest Gimp by integrating them into the game. Really cool stuff, and be sure to check it out using the link down in the description below. Now, the next mod we're going to be talking about is a brand new power armor mod known as Horseman of the Apocalypse War by NewerMind43 and Captain Ultima. Now, you know by a NewerMind43 mod that this is going to be a really cool, really awesome power armor, and that is very much true. Now, unlike other NewerMind mods, which are typically Fallout power armors from either 76 or just other lore-friendly designs, this one is going to be a bit out of the box. This is going to add a new apocalypse-themed armor in the form of one of the Horsemen of the Apocalypse. The style of the armor itself looks very high fantasy to me. It looks very medieval, but it is still really cool. The way it's integrated to the game is also pretty neat. Whenever you boot it up after level 50, your character will get a pop-up for a new quest that tells you to search for the voices that have been talking inside your head. This will eventually lead you to the glowing sea, where you will find War, one of the Horsemen of the Apocalypse, wearing this power armor and wielding a mighty flamer. Do your best to take out this foe, and the power armor is yours. So a nice little way to grab this, rather than it just being locked away in a bunker somewhere, you actually have a cool new enemy to fight to get your hands on this thing. Once you have this power armor in tow, if you take it over to any power armor station, it's going to work functionally pretty much the same as any other power armor in the game. There's tons of linings you can add to it. Everything in the vanilla game is applicable to this power armor. As far as stats go, it is pretty much equivalent to the XO1 power armor in the vanilla game. And there is one small drawback with this mod, and that is that none of the skins work at the power armor station. So you can apply different coatings like the hot rod flames, and you will get the stat bonuses from them, but you will not actually see any coating change on the armor. The armor comes as is in terms of visuals. But honestly, that's alright, because the visuals on this armor are really cool, so that's not too much to complain about. This may not be the most lore-friendly set of armor in the world, but if you can find a way to fit this thing in your headcanon, it is a pretty cool armor for your game, especially if you are a power armor enthusiast. Now, up next, we have a tiny little armor mod, and that is known as Dax Ballistic Mask by me. This is going to add a brand new ballistic mask into the game that is fully added to the leveled list of the raiders, so that you can actually see these things in-game on enemies. The ballistic mask is going to function similarly to how it would in real life, providing some extra damage resistance to the user, and it only takes up the face slot, so you can pair this with different helmets and accessories. Be aware that this mask is pretty large, so there is a chance it'll clip with the desired helmet you wish to use, but there are other helmets that work with it perfectly. Rather than locking this off and not allowing you to use it with helmets at all, I wanted to at least give you access to it so that you could find a helmet that fits and use them together. Like I said, this thing is added to the level list, and you will find it specifically on raider enemy types after level 8, and you can also purchase it from vendors or even find it on the legendary loot pool, so there is a chance that you can pull a legendary version of this mask that you can equip with all your other legendary armor. Additionally, once you find one of these masks, you can take it over to the armor workbench, and there are a ton of skins that you can apply. I'm sure you're already seeing them on screen now. There's a lot of customization with this thing, so you can pick any skin that fits your armor, or grab a bunch of these things to have for different armor sets or for even your settlers. I think this makes for a pretty cool mercenary style mask. I know it's not currently added to the gunner level list, but the reason for that is because this mask may end up integrated into the gunner outfit pack. So stay waiting for that, because that is an update that may come sometime in the near future. Additionally, this mod is now not only for PC, but Xbox as well, so if you check down in the description, this is going to be the first armor mod this week that is actually available on Xbox. So for you console users, be sure to grab this one if you're looking for a cool new armored mask. Now up next, taking a little break from armors, we've got a brand new weapon mod, and this one is incredible. We've got the RPD Machine Gun by MrLameGaming. I already did a dedicated mod review for this one to go in depth on all of the cool attachments and features, and if you watched that, you already know I'm a huge fan of this weapon. I've been wanting an RPD mod forever, and I'm so glad that not only did we get one, we got one that's made by MrLameGaming, so it has some beautiful custom animation, something absolutely necessary for a belt-fed LMG like this. The RPD is going to come with everything you'd expect in an LMG mod. It's a nice, heavy machine gun, but also we get some really cool customization, leveled list integration, custom animations, everything you'd expect like that. But on top of all of that, there's even a second version of the weapon included in this mod, known as the Chainsaw RPD. This is still going to be an RPD, but it has been reconfigured to be used with a chainsaw style grip. You may have seen this before on other LMGs, but now we have one for the RPD, and it's included in this mod, also added to the leveled list, and also features a ton of customization. If you want to get your hands on the regular RPD, it'll spawn out in the world on enemies after level 25, and if you want to get your hands on the Chainsaw RPD, that one starts spawning after level 40. Functionally speaking, the Chainsaw RPD is relatively similar to the regular RPD in terms of damage. However, it has a much faster fire rate than you can ever get on the regular RPD, and it has a different aiming mechanic. There is no sight that you can apply to the Chainsaw RPD. However, there is a functional laser sight, which basically makes for an advanced hipfire, which is pretty cool. Both the RPD and the Chainsaw RPD are very competent weapons in combat and make for some really cool late game LMG options, and I just absolutely love the design of these things. You can go retro or full tactical, it's really up to you. Regardless, this is an excellent mod and I highly recommend you try it out. And finally, that takes us to our last mod this week, and that is known as the Rakshasa Armory by Kelcken. This is going to be yet another Halo mod by Kelcken, adding a bunch of new armors from Halo Infinite into Fallout 4. And I know Halo is not really anywhere close to the Fallout universe, but the Rakshasa Armory actually has a relatively lore-friendly aesthetic. It is some advanced combat armor, but it actually looks pretty dang cool and pretty dang militaristic. It doesn't have that same Halo aesthetic that other Halo armors might have. There are a couple of crossovers here and there that you can't quite explain, like the addition of, say, Healy skulls on some of the armor, but we could just chalk that up to a mutant. But if you don't care about lore friendly and you just want to embrace the full Halo aesthetic of the Rakshasa Armory, this is an excellent armor mod, and it works just like any other Kelcken armor. You go over and craft a new crafting station, and then you can grab any of these new armors, take them over to an armor workbench, and there is absolutely unprecedented amounts of customization. More customization that's even featured in Halo Infinite currently, which is pretty funny given that this mod is completely free. You can mix and match colors any way you want, add on different armor pieces, change out the armor core, pouches, pockets, shoulders, knee pads, helmets, helmet accessories. And when I say helmet accessories, I mean 5 different accessory slots with color customization for each. Change out the color of the visor, add armor upgrades. There is so much that can be done with these armors. It's actually pretty incredible. By the time you're done with it, you're going to have a highly customized, personalized set of armor that has stats equivalent to power armor, and that's pretty dang cool. Pair this with some of the other stuff Kelcken is working on behind the scenes, and we're going to have some pretty insane Halo overalls to fall out pretty dang soon. Even if you're not a fan of Halo, it's definitely worth checking this one out just to have a really cool customizable piece of advanced combat armor. It doesn't really matter how you explain this thing in your own headcanon. If you just want a cool set of armor, this is definitely the way to go because you can do a ton with this armor set. With that though, I think that covers just about all of the big releases on the Nexus this week. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and found at least one new mod to throw into your own load order. I know I did. With that, if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to drop a rating, consider subscribing if you haven't already for more videos just like this. Big shout out to all of my patrons for supporting every single video. And of course, a very special thank you to Captain Chaos, Helljumper, Indecisive Wolf, Jackie Noid, Timmy76, Cushy, Moonlit Gamer, Feed, and Youth RC for joining that Tier 3 Patreon membership. If you'd like to support the channel and the mods I work on, you can do so using the link down in the description below, but it is completely optional. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace!